So I had a dream that Joe Rogan legitimately took us by the hand and told us how to do the podcast thing step by step.
Holy fuck, that's an awesome premonition.
And that's how we're going to start today's episode.
Fuck yeah, dude. Talk about your dreams from Joe Rogan. That's cool.
Yeah, like the dream I had last night was Joe Rogan like, all right, your podcast sucks. Because I thought, no lie.
I'm fine being a 1 right now. It's okay, cool. We got to be a 10 sometime. Okay,
yeah. Yeah. No, he's like, okay, I'm the one guy that's listening to your podcast. And I'm like, why are you the one person listening to our podcast? He's like, because you guys got some like raw talent, blah, blah, bullshit, blah, blah, blah.
That's
you
cool.
know,
Awesome.
Whatever.
Okay.
And he's like, but you got to do these things, this thing, this thing, and this thing. And it felt like, you know, I was getting Taekwondo lessons from a master.
Well, I mean, what martial art is he a black belt in? Is it karate? I forget.
Jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu. Okay, I know he's a badass, like legit black belt in something. So there's too much to know about too many people, man. Forgive me. I'm not like.
Yeah, no, I listen to the podcast all the time, which is
I like treating people like humans. You know what I mean? Like actors and musicians and shit. People like, you don't know about them? I'm like, man, I know about their work. Okay, like I would not gush if I sat next to them. Like, hey, what's the last movie you had? Did you order already? No, cool. All right, see ya. You know, I'm serious. I wouldn't like. That's fucking rude, man.
I would ask Joe Rogan one question. So, how long have you been a member of the deep state psyop?
Shit.
That's the one thing I would ask, because I'd be like, half the shit you say is bullshit. The other half you say is like totally legitimate, and then you sound crazy in between, and like you're the biggest podcaster ever, and you're telling me that you haven't sat down with somebody and they've had a conversation with you, going, all right. This is our agreement, you know?
It's possible. You never know. Like, he could be someone they just let go crazy. But you know what I would really like to do instead of, like, getting an autograph or, like, a selfie or anything like that? I would love to just have, like, a second, like, hey, what's up, Joe? Do you want to hit this? Smoke? I'm serious. Just, like, a real casual, I'm serious. Like, just a real actual human interaction. Like, he was another Joe, any other Joe. I'm serious. Like, treat him like a person and, like, some real interest, like, cool. You know, like, not, I don't know. I think
right.
that, yeah.
I'm sure some celebrities are like, thank God this person's not a fanboy. And then other celebrities are probably out there like, why aren't you a fanboy?
You can't reach a level of status without wanting a certain amount of attention. Whether
That's
it's
true.
a certain level or not. Be accepting of that.
You get used to, like, people just fawning over you. Like, oh, my God.
Yeah, that's cool. I like random compliments. Again, you know what? I will tell you this the other day. Guys get freaked out if they feel like they get hit on by a gay person, right? A gay guy. Yeah. I do not at all. Random compliments are compliments, people.
Yeah, no, it's like,
Fucking
hey, thanks for the compliment.
Yeah. Thank you.
on.
Another person thought I was attractive enough to have sex with. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not my flavor of ice cream.
Well, the thing is, the thing with men is they think that the gay guys are going to treat them the way that they treat women.
What do you mean? What?
Just like straight up, like, you are my object.
Oh, I see what you're saying, like,
you know?
Mm-hmm. They're used to that attention being like, you know, forward male energy or, you know, aggressive energy, I want to say. Maybe.
I'm just going to come out and just say grape culture, because you're not supposed to say the other thing. You know? It's just straight up, are they going to come out and throw a bunch of purple balls at me?
I see what you're saying. You're like, normal sized man and this super large gay man, and I got scared he's going to rape me. Yeah, see, again, people are just... Anyway, hey, you want some... What
I have no idea what those things are, but no, I'll pass on that. I'll pass on that. So
at least there's two. I always see like a random shoe, one random sock or something, you know, and that's what makes me wonder. When I see two, that at least could have possibly something happened. But so how the fuck did you lose one shoe? Anyway, go ahead.
Have we talked since the rapture has happened?
No.
We haven't talked since the rapture has happened?
Did you see the eclipse?
I did, actually. I got to enjoy it through a welding helmet.
I was just going to say, a gentleman in our parking lot rolled up, and he had a welding hat. Mm-hmm. And he was over like, oh, that's cool. Awesome. I saw it. I didn't even ask. I didn't see it. And he walked right up to me, and he was like, cool, you want to see? And I was like, oh, awesome. Yeah, I looked, and I was like, cool.
It's a shadow.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's the way that I took it. I was like, oh my gosh, the moon is casting a shadow on the sun. And I didn't look up. I was more focused on looking out because I thought that was eerier.
It just got a little gray.
Yeah, it got a little gray, a little shadowy for us.
Yeah, I didn't really notice the sun. So honestly, like, if it was just like, if I had no idea, I would have just been like, I don't know.
Well, in 2017, I legitimately had no idea what was going on. And I was all, everything looks weird. And I looked up at the sun and went, ow. And then I looked away and realized that the eclipse was happening. 2 minutes later, they come out with the Cheetolini is like, he's looking at the sun without any protection on. I'm like, oh, it's an eclipse. Yep, we're here. We're recording. CIA.
I'm sorry, no matter how scary it would be, Wayne, we'd be like, oh God, we're running from this and some people after us. In 1 minute, I would just be like, well, hold on a second, Wayne. Do you realize how big we are now that we're actually being chased by? Holy shit, man, we made it. All right, anyway, keep running.
We made it. We had one of those conversations of things we can't talk about because we know too much.
I don't even think they care anymore. They're just like, we already soft told them aliens exist and they didn't riot. Like, we just literally have videos showing all of them that their fucking president's a robot. Nobody cares. Have you seen those things?
No, but I
haven't?
I know about the aliens thing.
Dude,
because during the pandemic, they were like, aliens exist, and everybody went, shut the fuck up!
Dude, they have one where they're like opening Trump's head like he's from the Men in Black and shit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they have some really crazy fucking shit. Like, I don't know how real this stuff is, but the robots or the imitation of our leaders and celebrities, they look really real.
I don't trust anything anymore, to tell you the honest truth. I'm at that point where I'm like, oh, wow, they made, what was that? Some AI that can make movies now? Looks super realistic.
Oh, that's been out for a little while.
Yeah. So I don't...
I saw your video. That was good, yeah. At first, I was like, why is he sending me this? I want to see some shit we get arrested for. And I was like, oh, wait, it's just clickbait to get you to... Okay.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, oh, what?
Yeah,
why is he sending this to me?
Yeah, because...
This is how you make mustard gas. This is how you make thermine.
It's like the old days. The old days when they had the anarchist cookbook. You're like, don't trust it. Because the friction from this and that will blow up the bomb in your face.
Dude, you ever look into the guy who wrote that?
No.
He regrets writing it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because he's like, I was in that stage or younger and all this, and then he's older now. He's like, I never would have written it if I would have known what it would have caused.
Really?
All the shit that people have done because of that book.
Yeah. Well, there was one kid in our high school that was his older brother, like legitimately blew off his fingers. And then he got arrested and taken away and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Sad stuff. But they're saying that was tinkered with. Those recipes were tinkered with. So that way you couldn't actually do anything. Like, again, it was like 50% balderdash and 50% like, yes,
if you
that
get a
is
hold of
legit, but you can't tell.
The original copies, I guess, I'm sure, because there's been some reversions or whatever, but
yeah.
He never... I remember in his interview, none of it was like bullshit information. Like, he gathered all this information he could and slapped it all together or whatever. And then, because all that stuff you can still find. You just have to piece together shit. Because again, let's just say there's 100 crazy ass ideas in there.
Yeah.
You have to, go through all kinds of old manuals and this and that. And I remember him saying he wrote some of the diagrams maybe or drew, because I remember looking
Drew him
at
out
it
himself?
I swear I remember looking at a copy of it when we were younger, because like the older kids had one, and it really looked like shit. Like the diagram and the drawings and everything looked. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
The words were cool, but I don't know. It looked like one of those 1950s like survival camping guides you look at, like where like you can kind of tell what they want you to do, but not really.
Yeah, like the instructions are like not clear.
Yeah, they're like, yeah.
You could kind of do this. Yeah. No, I honestly, coming clean, I never got to look at the Anarchist Cookbook. I just heard about it. I'm such a loser.
Chris and Pat, I swear, or maybe I'm misremembering, but I swear someone had it. Some one of those fuckers had one.
I would not be surprised if they still have it,
Probably.
to tell you the honest truth. Talk about people back in the day, man. Damn.
There's a lot of people aren't around anymore.
Yep. Well, that's true.
Before I forget, we were talking about the rapture and stuff. I saw some blurb that in the last 25 years, there's been like 100 eclipses. Mm-hmm. I remember being a kid the first time there was an eclipse, and everyone talking about how rare it was and how this stuff never happened and hundreds of all this. And again, I swear I remember being younger. Maybe that's because it was before the 25-year mark. That this shit was just rare. And I swear to God, in the last like 3 years, how many? It started with the blood moon fucking shit.
Okay.
Do you remember the blood moons?
Yeah.
There was like so many. It was like this year, and there was a super moon and all this other crazy stuff.
Yeah, the blue moons too. Like, that happens once in a blue moon. Well, what's a blue moon? A full moon twice in the span of 30 days. Okay. I think with the advent of the internet and the speed of information, all of this stuff, all of this quote-unquote rare stuff that rarely happens has just been more prevalent. Like, you could see it, predicted. And the information for it, so they just, there it is. Like, I learned that an eclipse happens once every 7 to 8 months somewhere on planet Earth. And that makes fucking sense to me.
Really?
Yeah. Even if it is over the middle of the ocean and nobody's around, there's still a shadow of the moon on the water or what have you.
Oh, so we only pay attention when we can see the fucking thing.
Yeah, we only pay attention when it's important in America and certain subsects of some religious idiocracy, or no, that's the wrong word.
Ideology?
Extremists, religious extremists get a hold of it, and they're like, this is going to be the rapture. Oh, no, not this one. Okay, then it's going to happen in April of 2024. Whatever the hell. I know April just happened, but like, not this time. It's going to happen the next time. We promise.
I think it's a slow roll too, because again, they talk about all these signs and the end of days and all that. It just means our little experiment, our little chapter is going to be flushed. Dude, okay, Netflix. Have you seen the three body problem?
No.
It's really good.
Yeah?
So humans get in contact with a race of aliens that's about 400 light years away, or 400 years away, something like that. And they're more advanced than us, but they really bring up this whole factor about time and stuff, and how like progression goes for certain. Anyway, in their world, there's 3 different suns that surround their planet. So, however often and very unpredictably, their world gets destroyed by like all the same crap ours does, but unpredictably.
Really?
So it's taken them millions of years to get from, what is the alien said to them? He's like, how long did you think it took? He's like, humans have been around for roughly 100,000 years. He's like, how long did it take you to get from hunter-gatherer to farmer? And the guy's like, just cut the shit and tell us. And she's like, it took you about 90,000 years. And he's like, how long do you think it took you to get from hunter-gatherer to industrialist? And the girl's like 10,000 years. And like, how long did it take you to get to atomic power and the atomic power? She's like 200 years. She's like the information age. She's like 50 years. And then they talk about their planet. She's like, how long do you think it took us to get from hunter to gatherer, industry, all the way to atomic power? And she's like, much longer. It took them millions of years. So their technology is like way different, but they grow so slowly compared to us. So she's like, yeah, we're way advanced from you now, but by the time we get to your planet, you're going to be way advanced and you're going to destroy us, our fleet, and then come back to our planet and wipe us out completely. She's like, there's no way we can compete with you. So what they did is they destroyed their science. They stopped them from progressing any further and made humans back into this religious, everything's miracles and we don't understand. And
kind of like what happened in the Dark Ages?
Exactly.
Huh.
They're doing it to us now. And he's like, how are you doing that? And he's like, we're doing it with our Sophon. They took all this energy, like this massive amount of energy, like the size of a planet, this huge ass ring above their planet, and they zapped like one proton, unfolded it. They're like, wait, there's so many dimensions that we live in, and besides the 3 that we have, there's so many different realities. So they took a proton and unfolded it, and it's the size of a fucking whole planet. And then on that proton, that space, they built a supercomputer.
Crazy. And this is a movie?
Yep. 3 body problem.
Netflix?
Yep, Netflix.
Called 3 Body Problem?
Mm-hmm. There's a scene that talk about the science or whatever. Dude, it's so cool. And then the Sophon is like the size of the planet, like it's engulfed the entire planet. They like built a supercomputer on it, right? Mm-hmm. And then they're like, are you awake, Sophon? Sophon's, yes, I'm awake and aware of my purpose, and I'm ready to return to my original size. And they're like, proceed. The thing fucking shrinks all the way back down to the size of a fucking proton. So they have a supercomputer the size of a fucking proton.
That has achieved the singularity.
Some shit. So they made 4 of them. They fucking linked 2 of them together, so they've got 2 pairs of 2. They sent 2 to us, And
they
I've
get
heard this
to
before.
with the quantum theory, quantum particles.
Where you can have, there's no time frame for the information. It's faster than light.
Yeah.
So they do that. So they're like, we know exactly what you're doing in real time in our planet.
That's the whole premise behind quantum particles.
Yeah, dude, it's really good.
They exist and do not exist in two places
At the same time.
until observed, and then they exist in the observed place.
It's really good. And the way they show them making this fucking, the Sophon, dude, is amazing. I've watched the little thing like 15 times.
Daggone, man.
Because they zap it and they're like, it is really fucking cool.
Yeah. Because you just touched on like several different theories that are currently going on right now in the
Scientific realm.
woo-woo space. The tinfoil hat / not really tinfoil hat space, whatever. That gray area. 1, quantum computing. 2, the whole stoned ape theory. That's kind of a big thing on the JRE podcast.
Dude, I've
right
seen
now.
that, the mushroom idea.
Yeah.
The red and purple, or the red and white mushroom and how we've advanced. Absolutely.
Well, because they're saying that the effects of the psilocybin.
Psilocybin.
The psilocybin on the brain makes someone more observant, makes someone more hyper in tune, makes somebody more just better at hunting, better at pattern recognition, better at line recognition. Like they have 2 parallel lines and one is just slightly off. The people who have taken the psilocybin are like 10 times faster at spotting the one that's off than somebody who hasn't. And these effects last your lifetime.
I was talking to a young gentleman actually about that, and we were talking about mushrooms, and I told him, I was like, actually, I was like, my favorite, and I do believe it is the best, is LSD. My God, that stuff was fucking just mind-altering. Like, the world is a different shade after that.
Yeah,
just slightly different.
Not for me, man.
No? Never did the LSD.
I'm just going to plead the fifth on that one and walk away from it. It was way more intense. Let's just say that. It was way more intense than psilocybin.
That is a body and a mental, and everything, the LSD is very visual.
Yes.
Very visual.
Yeah, like I'm literally listening to other people talk about their experiences with psychotropics and like, putting pieces together
All
from
for
when I was
entertainment
7 fucking teen. It's yeah. I do not recommend
past
LSD.
crimes whatsoever. All for entertainment purposes only.
I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations is gone by now. Half the shit we talk about is legal now anyway.
This is true, huh? You're right. Yeah, back 20 years ago. Fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus, God, Wayne.
That's what I'm saying, dog. It's been a minute, But at the same time, I'm like, podcast stuff says that you have to be your authentic self in order to get any listeners. So there you go. There you have it.
Those pictures on those papers were cool as fuck.
Dude, I was gone. Like, some of my experiences I have not come back from. I was gone, and then I sobered up, and part of me is still gone, honestly.
I think it's honestly like a...
There you go. My credibility discredited in a 5-minute statement.
I don't think so. I think it makes you more credible.
But yeah, do not advocate for that at all for anybody. Because
So microdosing though, psilocybin, huh?
yes.
I may know a guy who knows a guy.
Yes, but I
like
think
yes,
that
yes, or just like yeah.
nah. Like yes, nah, no, because there's other active mushrooms that you can take
That have it.
that have the same effect without all the fucking lost time.
It's what it is I believe that the amount of the psychoactive compound is just less, like say reishi mushrooms and lion's mane, I believe, as well as what was it? God damn it, Oregon. They grow in Oregon. Truffles
Okay.
are mildly hallucinogenic apparently.
Yeah. All right. Let's blip and come back
All right,
to this.
blip and go to the trash.
You know, it's not good for the podcast when we grind to get mellow, because then we can't be like, well, you know. So I was actually taking Onnit's Total Human supplement for the past week. They had, I'm so sad, but they had a sample pack where they're like, pay shipping, you know, one of those marketing tactics.
Okay.
And I'm like, sure, I'll do it, because I really do like Alpha Brain. I've tried that before. And I tried the Memory and Focus, and that was okay. But I tried the Total Human package, which is all of their products just in a bag, you know, and they have something called Shroom Tech and Mood Relief and all this other stuff. I have never felt better, honestly, in so long. So I immediately went to see if they have an affiliate program, because I'm business minded, and I'm like, all right, what's your affiliate program? Sure enough, they do have it, but you need 5,000 social media followers in order to sign up for that on some platform or another. YouTube, Facebook, InstaCheese, X, whatever the case may be.
Question with that. Is it total on one platform or
Yes.
across all?
One platform.
So one of them has to reach 5,000.
Yes.
Okay. See, with that, I mean, that's not an unrealistic goal either.
No, it's not. It's really easy.
You know what we need to do, actually, is start, again, write that. We start like,
Yeah.
we finally hit, let's try these guys or whatever.
Well, I legitimately want to sell them so that way I could take them for free.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I have no problem promoting shit. I have absolutely no problem, especially with shit that we like. I don't want to, again, there's just one podcaster I just think of, and again, I'm not on that business side and not over there, but just as a consumer of their content, just looking at their commercial, it's everywhere right now, so I have no opinion one way or another, but I will state that Huel is everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? And I've just seen this one person promoting it, I'm like, this is like the fakest fucking goddamn promo I've ever seen, man. Like, what the fuck? even just in the person's face, they're just like, they grab it and they're like, yeah. And I'm just
It's that inauthentic.
It's
level
exactly
of
what
stuff.
it is.
That's
Thank
what
you.
I'm telling you.
Thank
That's
you.
why I was like, oh, you got to be authentic.
It's so inauthentic selling this shit, dude. Like, you have nothing to do with this product. It has nothing to do with what you talk about. And he's just like, I've been drinking Huel. Like, oh my God, bro, you can't even like put your effort into a commercial. Like,
yeah, it's who are those guys? The guy that's about to get his face beat in by Mike Tyson. They have Prime.
I've been seeing something about some
Jake
shit.
Paul. Is that the dude?
Oh, is that white kid whose wife was whatever? Or,
I don't know. He challenged Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's like, oh, should I fight you?
Mike Tyson's like 60.
Yeah, Mike Tyson's 60, and this dude's like 58, but he's a...
Oh, wait. Jake Paul's 58.
Yeah, there you go. No, Jake Paul. He is not 59.
Yeah, he's like
28
or something. Yeah, or whatever, right? Yeah.
He's super young.
Is that what? Okay, I saw some video the other day then, actually, what it was. They were like Mike Tyson at 17. He was like fucking going at it, doing his boxing thing. And they were like Jake Paul at 17. He was like dancing and doing some TikTok bullshit or something.
Yeah, that's just hype for the fight.
Wow.
Dude. That's just hype for the
Well,
fight.
I was just curious why they were comparing it. I'm like,
because
okay.
this dude's job is to go out there, get his ass beat by Mike Tyson, and then just sip on a Prime. Because they own that business. They own Prime, and they're the chief distributors.
Who owns Prime?
Jake Paul. The Paul brothers.
They own Prime? Jesus
Yes,
fuck.
they own Prime.
I know he was... Okay. Well, little I know about him, he was a fighter or something.
I don't.
And then turned into some media star because, from my understanding, mostly, again, this is nothing personal, just from little information I've captured, because of some business with his wife and what she did or had done or with whoever, I don't know. And there was some fucking crazy drama. And that's how I knew the name Jake Paul.
Really?
Was some crazy shit about his wife, because what it is the red pill community talked about. This is they use him as an example. Women are concerned about a man's future for providing for them.
Yeah.
Men are concerned with a woman's past because of what it makes them look like. And he was a prime example.
Huh.
He loved this chick and all this other stuff, and they've got old clips of her being like on the internet being like, I just want to get dicked right now, and like just her being
raunchy.
Yes.
All right.
I'm
unaware of this whole situation.
So and then they're just like calling him out. Again, it's just an example of like men be aware of your woman's past basically, and women keep your past to the point you want that man to respect it, kind of shit. So it always comes. I think what it is the argument of, if you were with someone, you're with your wife right now, and you found out something that she did 10 years ago, And a lot of guys are like, yeah, I'm done, I'm walk, you know. And they're like, what? That was 10 years ago before you. And they're like, well, it doesn't matter. I'm not seen being with some girl that has a porno ad on the fucking internet or, did this or some. There's some things that it's like, that's it. Like, nope, doesn't matter. How long ago it was, doesn't matter. You did this, that's it.
I'm sure everybody has their own lines, but the whole reason why I brought that up is because they are authentically promoting the prime rehydration / energy drink, whatever they are, through this dude's shenanigans.
Wow.
Basically, he's out there to get his face pummeled by Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is out there to prove that he's still got it, whatever the case may be. However they roped that motherfucker into that fight. I would not want to face Mike Tyson after
even being
all
80,
the stuff that I've seen. Even if he was 120 and on his fucking deathbed, I would still not want to fight that dude because he has been in way more fights than I ever will be.
Motherfucker went to prison and came out and was still famous as shit. And
I was there when he bit that dude's ear
off. I remember that. Yeah, that's how he's famous. Yeah.
I don't want that savage to be around me.
You know what? Okay. With that being said, he is a excellent tactician at violence. I will say this.
Yes.
On the other side of that, I have a massive amount of respect for some of the stuff I've heard that man say. The profound shit that has come out of that man's mouth, I'm just blown away. Not even because of who he is or the background, just anyone. And I'm like, that is some fucking, someone write that shit down. You know what I'm saying? That is some fucking advice. That's life advice right there.
He's been through his fair share of turmoil in his life. There's an interview with him where he's talking to a reporter and the reporter asks about the death of his daughter and he's like, I couldn't be sober. I had to do cocaine for a week. And then he looks at the reporter and goes, you need to leave now. Do you understand? And the reporter goes, absolutely. Absolutely. We are gone.
Yeah, you need to leave right now.
Yeah. Because that dude has that monster inside of him. Just raring to go.
I answered that question for you, but now that is disrespectful. You need to go before I fucking do something about it.
I'm so sad right now, and I don't know how to control my emotions because I was part of the generation of men that isn't in touch with their emotions and all that stuff.
You, as a man,
violence is the way.
Taught one emotion that was correct. The only emotion you were allowed to ever feel and were actually encouraged to feel was anger.
Yep.
The only emotion we were ever encouraged to feel was anger.
Growing up in our generation,
be a man, tough it out. You're gonna put up with that? You're gonna take that as a man? You're gonna do something about that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Be a man, don't cry.
Exactly, and for Tyson to grow up with that kind of mentality and just come out straight away you need to leave now, do you understand? Yes, sir. I am the fuck out of here. See you later.
Speaking of stuff that I respect him for saying, again, not a fan, not a hater, but respect what he said. Someone was talking to him now about Donald Trump or whatever, and he's like, I respect him, he's my friend and something. And they pulled an interview from Donald Trump back in the day when Mike Tyson was in prison. And Donald Trump was defending him.
Really?
Yeah. And he's like, he's been my friend for whatever. I can't remember what he was saying. He's just basically just stuff happens or whatever. He's just basically very, very no. He's like, I don't give a shit. He's like, I'm not turning back on him. He's like, he's my fucking friend and he's in prison and whatever happened. And I think it actually was some sort of whatever charge. I'm not going to say it, but he's just I don't believe it. And he's like, whatever. And again, that's one of those things, love it or hate it, man. That is a moment you look at someone, you're like, you know what, Mr. Trump, you got to respect that. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of people, especially when you're standing in front of a camera and, people are in your face talking about how you still respect your friend who's in prison.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of people nowadays that I believe would do that. That's a friend.
There's a whole lot of it's that 3 a.m. friend. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Donald Trump could call Mike Tyson up at 3 a.m. and be like, I got a problem. And Mike Tyson would be like, let's do this, man. I'm going to go bust a face. I did a poor impression of Tyson, but you can't hear that voice over the phone and take it seriously, and then he shows up in your front door you got a problem with the way I speak? No, Mr. Tyson, I do not.
I honestly have never really noticed the pitch really until people actually personify him. I don't hear that in his voice.
Yeah, it's I think it's more of the what's that? Speech impediment? Kind of a thing that he's got going on?
I just don't notice anything from him. I notice the satire. of an impression. And honestly, I think back to the first time I heard about impressions, and was talking about Lincoln, actually.
Oh, yeah?
He was doing an impression of his pastor or something like that. And like the pastor told his father, and his father like was about to like discipline him, and the pastor was like, "No, stop." And he's like, "Because of your son." He's like, "You know how much my flock have grown?" And then they talked about how imitation was the finest form of flattery or something like that.
Yeah, it is, because whether people are talking about you in a positive way or a negative way, they're still talking about you, and you're still getting that attention.
So I mean,
Absolutely.
I just, yeah, I can still have mass amounts of respect for someone, and I guess where I was going with that. Anyway.
Hell yeah, but I know, right? We're like off on random tangents, just having this conversation.
That's why Joe Rogan listens to our podcast.
Sends
us notes.
The only one person who listens. We love you, Joe.
Someone's gonna send him like, "Hey Joe, did you hear about these guys who said that?"
The hell they are, man. He's gonna be like, whatever.
That would be great. Now,
if I had $1 for every time somebody talks shit or like mentioned my name or any of that stuff, he'd have more than $250 million signed from
I think
Spotify.
We do really well about not being one of those people who literally just take someone else's work and makes their entire thing about talking about it. I saw someone doing it to that girl Pearl, and I was like, what are you doing? You're just literally ripping apart this girl's interview and like talking shit about, like, get your own fucking material.
That's how they get their own attention. But the thing is that people will eat that shit up, and the algorithms are being taught that people like to see other people's reaction to famous people. So it's just a machine that feeds itself. It's ridiculous, man. Like if I hashtag Joe Rogan experience in our description, I'm pretty sure we'd have a hell of a lot more than just 500 impressions on Spotify. Honestly. I think we've got maybe 100 all-time listens. Maybe.
So again, that's called fame jacking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fame jacking. No, we did it all by ourselves.
Nobody was the first trailblazer. No one remembers the first trailblazer. They remember the people behind them.
Yep.
Because the path is easy, and you're the one who was able to stick your name on it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, absolutely. Anytime I think we talk about anyone famous, like, why not? Because if you're searching stuff about Joe Rogan, hey, it will pop up. Why not?
Maybe.
I think it depends on how tasteful it's
skull
done.
Logo. There you go.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, the thing is, I was actually listening to the Joe Rogan Experience the other day, and he's talking about how comics can be thieves, and like comics themselves will shun the thieves, right? So a comic steals another comic's bit, and everybody knows like right away. But it's not. They can't get sued for it. It's not protected under intellectual property or any of that stuff. It's just whatever, right? And he was saying that people who talk trash about other people don't get as sought after or as listened as people who like build other people up and be positive about it. Just stay positive and stay away from the trash. Even though the comic he was talking about did was absolutely trash, and then he got famous, got propelled, but because he didn't know how to do his own crafting of jokes or any of that kind of stuff, or like how to take heckling, like that guy sucks, and he got to a level and sucked by himself, so much so that nobody had to talk trash about him in the comics community. They just didn't do business with him. Just like, oh, you're gonna be at the whatever, you're going to be in the Fat Man room at the Mothership, which is Joe Rogan's club, but I doubt that this dude would be there. Everybody around him or in that club would not be there. Like any of the up-and-comers wouldn't be around that guy because they don't want him to steal their bits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting, But it's another thing to watch how this dude crafts a joke and does the thing, and you take the same framework of the joke, craft it your own way, and then deliver it in a different way, so you've grown upon what they've done, which is probably what you're talking about with the Trailblazer
exactly
kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's paying homage and then also getting yours at the same time.
Like if I went out there and I started whacking watermelons for no reason, like everybody would be like, you're a Gallagher knockoff, Exactly. But if I went out there with a giant axe and just started smashing them, for fun and profit.
Pumpkins, maybe.
Huh?
Did pumpkins instead of watermelons.
Yeah, but you frame it in a different way instead of just randomly like, yeah, it's smashing. You're like, oh yeah, and then this was my boss's head. You make it relatable and funny, and everybody's like, ah, ha, ha, ha. I'd love to see my boss's head get smashed.
Boss's head of the week. You send me a picture, we'll draw a crappy face, put his name on there, and smash it in videos.
No, that's not our thing. What we do is we tell him to suck a fart, and I really don't have anybody to suck a fart this week.
Wow, Wayne's into fart sucking.
I
That's
just
cool.
think
I mean,
it's
you
hilarious.
learn more about people as you grow older, and your kinks change and grow, I guess. And that stuff does come from the darkest recesses of your mind. So I mean, that's cool. Whatever, Like
Hey.
booties, like booty, eating ass. I guess as kids do that on the first dates now.
What? Wow. So there's lowbrow comedy, and then there's all of the stuff that you just said.
That I was just talking about culture and reality right now. I mean, like you just.
Oh God!
I've
You're not
seen
supposed to say the
stickers.
quiet part out loud.
I don't give. That's my bit. That you do. This is my fucking shit. Haven't you seen those stickers? I saw a sticker on some dude's
Yes.
truck tailgate. It says "I eat ass," and I was like,
Yeah,
I've
wow.
seen
shirts like that. I literally went to some chain popular store in the mall, and the first sticker that I saw was that phrase just plastered up, and I'm like, all right, this is a classy joint now. It used to be funny back in the day, but now it's just like too edgy.
You're not on the edge anymore, Wayne. You're on over the cliff. So I'm thinking right now I could make a version of that, depending on how legal it may be. I don't know. I could be like, I'm old school. I just eat pussy. I'm old school. I still eat pussy. I don't know, something like that, right? Like,
I don't play in the sewer.
no ass play here. No shit play. Shit play. I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Anyway, no kink shaming here, folks. Just talking about it. I remember when feet things was weird. Now that's like...
I know.
some
Now
food
that's
jobs.
like, basically
What the fuck is a foot
10,000
job,
fans.
people? God damn, what is seriously wrong with you?
Feet job? Foot job?
You haven't heard that? A foot job? To wraps her feet around like with
Wow.
your foot? Yeah,
This
I'm
went
serious.
dark.
Yeah,
We
that's
went dark real fast.
I just
Can we get
you
back
know,
onto the aliens thing? Because this whole like eating and foot and stuff is like grossing me out.
Okay, sure. I wonder what aliens do to each other. That's a good question. You got
Yeah.
tentacles.
How do
and
they reproduce when they don't have any genitals?
You think they don't have genitals? Why do we always assume aliens have such boring lives and like you don't think they're out there fucking each other like some big old alien squid monster thing? Being like, blah, blah, blah.
There is a tinfoil hat theory that says that they are us just from the future after a whole radioactive nuclear meltdown kind of a thing happened. Because aliens or UFOs did not start coming around to our portion of the Earth or Earth in general until we lit the bombs, the
That's not true at all.
radioactive bombs.
That's not true at all.
Oh yeah?
There's plenty of hieroglyphs, petroglyphs, ancient
fair.
writings of shit way before nuclear. You see
Yeah.
aliens and ships and everywhere. No, that's not. I mean, maybe more, sure, but then also, with that also being said, there has been nuclear glass from vitrification found in the deserts of Egypt, which had only happened from the fucking radiation of a fucking bomb. On top of that, there are nuclear radiated dinosaur bones. So, on top of that, radiation does happen naturally in nature, just depending on the quantity and how dangerous and etc.
Yes, but did they weaponize it?
I saw this whole thing about uranium and how they had these uranium glasses and all this other shit.
Yeah, but that was after Fat Man and Little Boy.
No, this is before.
Yeah?
This is ancient shit. The guy like had all this whole collection of uranium like cups and glasses and all this shit. And it's when this whole tangent of where mercury isn't as dangerous they talk about and all this other nuclear stuff that like this isn't the way, or we haven't been led to believe it is true because they talk. I saw this. The guy had this whole case. He's like, I can prove it to you. They did whatever and all this shit lit up. He's like, that's uranium and all this stuff.
They probably hit it with a black light.
Exactly. Yeah. Something was glowing fucking green, and I was
My
like,
mom
holy shit.
collects uranium glass for whatever fucking
Exactly. So
reason.
why would we have a toxic material in our glass? So there's just, again, I'm not saying it's 100% true, but it makes you question, and that's, to me, this is where I believe the truth is. Where this is a fact, question it, and scientific, and go around all you want to disprove it. It's a fact. It'll never change. And it scares me when someone's like, oh no, you just have to believe. No, just you have to proof. Trust is one thing, proof is another.
Yeah, absolutely. I was so ill prepared for this argument. So you're saying that they had radiation glass in... Oh, look at that. We got a blip. Blip. Bathroom break. Coming right back.
Dude, you, my brother, did I tell you this? He had
We're
four
back.
cell phones in his name. 4 fucking contracts on his name. I was like, what?
Like cell phone contracts, or like legitimately somebody was out to like murk him contracts?
Cell phone contracts.
Oh, okay.
Because again, like, you know the style my brother lived, and like mom's like, what do you think he was doing? I was like, Mom, some of them were probably business phones, or I don't know. The fucker dropped phones. Like, he had 2 different numbers, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, back to uranium and crystals and stuff.
Yeah, we're back from the blip and we got off track.
So yeah, again, I think that there's certain materials that, again, you know what, let's use arsenic, I think, is a perfect fucking example.
Okay.
It is scientifically proven that small amounts of arsenic, I don't know the levels, are actually healthy for you. It only becomes toxic after a certain level.
Well, that's anything.
It's poison.
That's anything.
So again, that's the example. So uranium, mercury, all this other stuff, sure, it may be poisonous and harmful after a certain level, but what are the benefits under that level?
If there are any benefits at all, though.
Okay.
Nobody's going to go, like...
You know what? We have all these scientific fucking studies out, and studies prove this and that, and like, we can't, radiate some prisoners. Like, I don't know, there's just so much shit we've done, to test male pattern baldness on fucking mice and, fucking erection pills that we can't, I don't know. But here's my other...
nothing else is interesting other than men's dicks.
So I just don't believe our ancient ancestors were as dumb, ignorant, and filthy as, we make them out to be in any state. Even cave people. Even again, back in the day, I just don't see... Again, it's like animals. Do you see a fucking fox running around with mud all over it for no reason? No.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, you seriously tell me our ancestors are running around like matted hair with fleas all over them and fucking half mud, and they don't even know how to wash their hands when they eat? Like, come on, man. Like, that just doesn't make any logical sense.
They've also found like several different types of humanoids, I'll call it, around. Like, what is that one? There's a pygmy people. They're basically hobbit people.
Homo florensis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they found them in where? Where did they find them? New Zealand?
No, I want to say maybe the Philippines, but
somewhere. The Philippines?
Somewhere.
It was a remote island.
Somewhere, something like that in Asia. Because there's Denisovans, which were in Russia, Homo lensis, yeah. So I get the different forms, but again, I will go back to the basic form. You don't see chimps running around with shit on them. You know what I mean? Like, again, there's just, I don't believe any sort of transition to a better, more advanced species. I just don't, see this. I just don't see this, like, again, it always bothered me. You see this, like, even, I don't know, I just don't believe it. I think what that is that narrative is to push how better we are now. And we can prove it by being like, oh, well, like, let's take dental, for example. This is one that as soon as I heard it, I was like, holy fucking shit. Our ancestors didn't have cavities. They don't have fucked up teeth. They didn't need braces.
Yeah. They had tougher food to chew on.
Not just, like... So again, you're telling me, so take that right there and go back to how the image, we have all of our ancestors, and when they open their mouth, what did we see? Nasty, disgusting, grimy fucking teeth that were unclean, which is absolutely not true.
Yeah.
So again, the picture we always have of our ancestors and ancients and, like cave people, I think is way, way, way understated in what they were. I really do.
Yeah, I wasn't there, so I mean, I don't know, but I do know that once we started to do the food industrialization, we started having these problems be more recorded, shall we say.
Yeah, that's why I have fucked up teeth. Uh-huh. Because our jaws have gotten smaller because
the food is softer, it's not as tough, we don't have to chew it as much, so everybody's got,
slurping down their food now. Yep.
Yeah.
I was like,
they've got some kind of issue.
And again, like, you don't have, again, that's the whole, like, when we remove teeth to make them straight, and I was just like, they look at all these skeletons, they're like, you see all this shit? They're like, look at how, no, like, they have all these perfectly fucking beautiful pearly whites. They didn't need to remove their wisdom teeth, like.
That's because they were chewing on some really tough, free-ranged cow or whatever they were hunting.
I also think,
mammoth.
Like, just again, the refined sugar, it's really fucked us up, like, really badly.
Probably. they come out and they say it. They have study after study of all these fruit syrups being great for you. High fructose corn syrup is okay, and really once we started to industrialize that crop, we got lazier. We didn't have to go and hunt and grow our own food and all that fun stuff. So it makes sense to me putting stuff together. Now I'm just prattling off, but it does make sense. With the advent of industrialized crops, our oral health became worse.
Yep.
Our overall health became worse as well. There's study after study out there showing like the increase in all these viruses just about the time that the industrialized crop came about. Just started going up.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's that whole failed capitalism thing. Oh, damn, that's going to be a huge ass party. All right. Dead air makes for a great podcast.
Hey, let's take all the notes Joe Rogan said and we'll apply them, okay?
Yeah, right? There you go. In my dream.
Oh, come on. How great would that be? Like a backstory. So, guys, awesome. Inspiration. Actually, Joe, so podcast 14, 15, you wouldn't believe, so...
Like, legitimately, the first thing would be, all right, this outdoor shit, nobody's doing that for a reason. Stop being outdoors. Stop having the beeping. Stop being in the car. Just sit down and have a conversation. I think that would be number one. Number two would be add video and get yourselves out there. People like to see people's faces when they're talking.
Yeah, that's why radio died.
Get on more platforms than just Spotify, even though Spotify is the greatest start.
Greatest.
For us, just be on more platforms. Spotify and can't go on Google Podcasts because that's going to go the way of the dodo real soon.
Wait, what did you say? Podcast? Google Podcast?
Yeah. Google has a service called Google Podcast that would host podcasts, and it's going the way of the dodo.
I didn't even
Google's
know it
like,
existed.
we're not going to do that anymore for whatever their reason is.
My money's banked on YouTube, actually, a lot of like the future.
Yeah, well, there's
Rumble, I think. Yeah.
There's always something new, and that was true of Vine. YouTube has held the longest, but Google Podcasts was going to go into YouTube, so they just merged the two. Now you can get your podcasts on YouTube.
I think there's just so many restrictions. Not only just the restrictions with YouTube, but the fact that like you can get fucked so quickly.
How so?
Okay, so there was this one gentleman, so apparently, if I don't describe it correctly, I apologize, but he got, is that a coyote?
No.
That is straight up a coyote, dude.
Oh yeah, that's mangy.
That's a mangy ass coyote, holy shit.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, middle of fucking our city at 11:36 in like dead center town, mangy ass coyote. Anyway, what was I talking about?
We were talking about YouTube getting screwed over. Somebody's screwing over YouTube.
So apparently, as a content provider, this gentleman got 3 marks, like copyright restrictions or something from another fucking user. And
yeah.
So basically, the way YouTube's platform is set up, like once this stuff goes into effect, like you're screwed. Like there's no way to get out. Like it's just this huge deal. And the gentleman's talking about how his entire livelihood is being taken away. And he's at like 1.5 million subscribers simply because some asshole wanted to take out his competition.
Really?
Yeah, and he's like over some 10-second blurb that is a fucking free fucking shit that literally looks nothing like what his stuff is. He's like, so I think that's also why YouTube is losing a lot of credibility, is because it's so easy just to lose your entire thing.
Yeah,
like
you can get demonetized over.
Exactly. They don't give you warnings. They don't even tell you why you got demonetized. They just nope. So like that's really like, again, it's like going into your job one day and then it's like, oh, we sold the entire company, you're fired, goodbye. Like what?
Yeah,
No
that's
reason.
happened to me when I was a kid. But
Yeah. So like that to me, I think is again why other people are leaving there, is because it's not only do you have to meet their agendas, because it's very, I want to say, a lot of people say it's very left wing or something. You can't be Republican on there. You can't have Republican views or some shit like that. So it's very geared towards one political party, and then two, like it's just so easy to get demonetized and all this other shit. And again, as much as we don't want to give people the ability to say shit we don't want to hear, that is what freedom of speech is, folks. You don't want to listen to racist shit? Don't go on a racist channel.
Yeah, well,
that's it. Like, I'm sorry, I don't agree with it, but that's why it's there.
You have the freedom of speech, but you don't have the freedom from consequences, though.
That's exactly it. Thank you.
So if
that's a good example. Yeah.
If YouTube is its own independent business and is structured in such a way that they control what they can put out on their platform, that is their right, because it's their stuff.
Right.
Does that make sense?
So again, it comes into that. Like, I don't condone, but where is that line on where someone gets to draw what they deem as,
It's what they want. And what they want is based on their consumers' needs. And if they have more liberal people watching on their liberal-leaning platform, of course they're going to limit the conservative point of views.
And I think, again, I don't necessarily agree or disagree, but again, I think that to have the ability to, again, with consequences, say what you want, regardless of whether I feel about it or not, that's your right. Mm-hmm. But again, like, what you say has consequences.
Yeah.
Is the same point in time.
Yeah. Like, you can't come out and make some asinine statement and, expect to not get some kind of blowback, boycotted, or, what is it, canceled?
Canceled, for libelous.
Right? You can't come out and do that. But at the same time, like these...
Where is that limitation on how much someone has the right to criticize? Not just slander, but criticize.
Exactly. Like, the whole TikTok thing right now is because Chinese TikTok is all science, math, engineering, stuff that people are doing that are amazing for the Chinese people.
Promotion.
U.S. TikTok apparently is
Tide Pod Challenge.
Idiocracy.
We're gonna poison your kids by making them eat laundry detergent. You fucking morons.
TikTok dances. Shake that booty, baby. We love to see that. Shake that booty. But it's their platform, so they can promote what they want to promote. Oh man, that just opens up a wormhole about how deep China and Russia are actually into our free market.
Warfare, dude.
Yeah, our free market and our education system and all of that stuff. Because we have all these capitalistic freedoms, and they're just like, wait, you mean I could buy all of your farmland? Yeah, sure.
Dude, I don't like how other countries own toll bridges here.
There you go, man.
When I first heard that, I was like, what? I think it may be, again, I'm not 100% sure. I think it might be whatever company they were talking about owns this huge-ass toll bridge and road in whatever state. And they're like, yeah, we're literally giving millions and millions of dollars of our own money over to another country. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It made no fucking sense to me. Yeah, I'm like, what?
Who was it? Saudi Arabia just got kicked out of Arizona.
Jesus God.
Because they had so much farmland and so much water rights. Excuse me.
What?
Yes. They got kicked out.
Did they get some eminent domain crap pulled on them or what?
No, they just didn't have their water rights re-upped. I don't know how else to describe it. So every year they were like having a water subsidy for their farms, and Arizona stopped the water subsidy for their farms because they were basically wrapping up all of the alfalfa or whatever it was that they were growing and shipping it over to Saudi Arabia so that way they could feed their cows over there when, we've got cows and farmland and stuff here for us. So the government of Arizona stepped in and said, okay, no more water subsidies for you, sorry. And they went, well, we'll have to sell the farms. Yeah, we know that. We're in a water crisis. So that was one way that Arizona's fighting back. Yeah, America.
Isn't that crazy how legitimately a state in our country kicked out another country?
Yeah.
How, that just doesn't seem like it should be. I can understand like a private citizen maybe owning some land here, but like the fucking government of another, like, why do you even, what was the point of a boundary, folks? Like, what is the point of having America and Saudi Arabia then? Like, what is the fucking point?
Exactly. Like, well, that's also the capitalism machine that we want to propagate, right? So we're like, absolutely, come, take your money and invest it here. We absolutely love you for doing that. I think they're in Arizona, there's a Taiwanese company that's trying to develop solar farms. I'm trying to remember here correctly, but nevertheless, they've invested $17 billion into Arizona for this manufacturing plant, whatever the case may be. And then they re-upped to do it again, and they keep developing and investing in our stuff. So of course we're going to be like, absolutely, create those jobs here, pay us that money here. We will use our people to develop your stuff, and you could profit off of it. Yeah, and it's another Eurasian Asian country that's doing that, investing in that, and that's just in Phoenix. Imagine what's happening elsewhere. You know,
everyone's circle jerking the same credit dollars around. Like, I love how like all this money. Like, we're putting all this money. I'm like, you mean the computer digits that someone gave you? Like,
dude. Yeah, that's exactly it. We're giving you all of this money. Well, all that money is printed by the Federal Reserve, which is not a federal institution, and it is not a reserve. It is a private bank.
Yeah, if we need to purchase money from a private company that we could just literally create out of
and they're the only ones that have the right to do that too.
And
otherwise, it's
shareholders are private, and we, as the American people who pay these fuckers, don't even have the right to know who owns them.
Oh no, we do. It's the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the J.P. Morgans.
You're assuming. We assume. Yeah. But honestly, like I honestly, Wayne, I don't think that those people are really in charge. You want to know why? Because their name fell out of your lips. The people who are really in charge, we don't know those family names.
I agree 100%, because it's like the BlackRock and Vanguard.
No one knows shit about them for fucking,
But a percentage, I don't know what it is because it always changes, and I'm going off of the limited information that I have available to me. Vanguard owns a little bit of BlackRock. BlackRock owns a little bit of Vanguard, and they are in direct competition with each other, but they own a piece of each other. Figure that out.
Monopoly. It's kind of like, was it Kelly Blue Book is owned by Auto Trader or whatever, Like, and again, it's proven how all those are skewed to benefit the dealer.
Yeah, absolutely. So after a certain while, I'm thinking it's these monopolistic oligarchies, corporatocracies that actually run the world, because finance is where it's at.
The largest one is the church too.
I wouldn't doubt it. Rome has yet to fall. It's been an institution in the world since God.
Since they created God. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kidding, folks.
15 other religions couldn't be wrong about the sacrificial person. Anyway,
Apparently his birthday is actually April Fool's, not the 25th of December.
Really? I thought it was in the middle of the desert.
The desert.
Middle of the summer,
Right? Yeah, so none of us know.
It's the only time it makes sense to bring metal as a gift. You don't want that stuff in winter. Like, here's some cold metal for your baby in the coldest months of the year. Have it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, man. So, anyway, I'm so glad that we can say these statements after, just basically debasing ourselves. We're just like, alien genitals. Did you know that the Federal Reserve is neither federal nor a reserve, but a private bank?
I don't know. I can see some alien races being like, yes, and I put my sperm, and then she egged, and we are biomates, and this is our, this is our podling.
Our cellulars are dividing.
Again, I just, maybe. Of course, I absolutely see aliens being just like us, being drunken, horny, fucking out of control, barely. Well, we almost killed ourselves like 3 times, but yeah, we fucking made it. You know, like, that's what
We've had so many economic crises. Oh yeah, what's that meant for you? It means the price of milk went up.
You know, so yeah, I think a lot. I mean, we give alien civilizations way too much credit. I think yeah, they may have gone through their teenage bullshit. You know, is what I think.
Maybe, I don't know. Like the most useless metal in the world is what we've like harvested forever.
Gold?
Yeah,
it's not useless.
Yeah, now it's not. No, now it's not, because it's a great conductor of electrical energy, which is what the whole theory behind the Anunnaki was. They're like, you guys do the work and harvest all this gold. We'll come by every 300,000 years or whatever and take it for our atmosphere, so that way we don't have global warming or whatever the hell's going on. Who knows?
It actually reminds me of something. I remember hearing these people did this study of all these like waters, these water sources, because some of them are healing waters and ancient waters, whatever. Like there's that river in India that is like polluted as fuck. All these people go in it, but yet nobody ever gets sick from it. Not one person, that unreported case has ever, any of these millions of people dunking in the shit, not one person's ever gotten sick, right?
Yeah.
So they tested all these waters, and I remember what they talked about is like the ones that they have these healing property, they actually have a larger amount of gold and silver particles in them than normal water does.
Interesting.
So there is some scientific basis to water actually having, or gold and silver having these actually healing properties and stuff. And I remember them talking about that river, and they're like, it has X amount more, you know, gold or whatever, blah, 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 versus normal or over here or whatever. And they're like, again, we cannot explain why nobody has gotten sick. And they're like, looking at this water, it looks like sewage water almost. They're like, well, nobody gets sick from jumping and dunking and bathing in this water.
That's gross. But at the same time, maybe their immune systems are just built up to it because it's the environment that they're around in it. But
yeah, it's kind of like if we go to Mexico and drink the water, but yet they don't have a problem with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
all right.
But that is that also not, again, a healing thing? Their bodies adapted to it?
Yeah.
So at one point in time, they did become healthier by jumping in that water.
Yeah. Their bodies have the antibodies, the antigens, or whatever the case may be, to resist the bacteria and funguses and all the viruses in that place.
I wonder what the largest blood type in India is, because we talked about that, the different antigens and proteins.
Your blood types.
Blood types are crazy, man. Again, what other proof do we not need that there are different types of people, folks? Like, literally, your blood does not mix with this other person's blood. Like, this person's blood can be given to everybody, like...
Yes, but you can also procreate together, and...
Not everyone can.
Well, now with the advent of drugs, everyone can do that.
Sure, with drugs, but again, naturally...
Naturally, no.
Same thing. So, like,
complications.
We had an older brother before Russell that was in birth or whatever because of the blood factor. My mom's body, and that was before they had that stuff. So, yeah, that was killed off. So, again, the roll of genetic dice that happened to be that child's blood was a different whatever.
Yeah, but the two types of species, as you describe it, came together and created a life. It didn't survive, unfortunately, but nevertheless, that life was created.
It's kind of like a mule.
Yeah.
A sterile offspring from a donkey and a horse.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
It's like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Ligers are a thing, but you can't. You're never going to find an actual centaur. Like, I'm pretty sure some dudes tried to copulate with a horse and they've never had babies. You know what I mean? Like, there's no half horse, half man.
So we're gonna leave this on a bestiality now. Okay, so let's on the all genetic random variations of introducing human or animal sperm into the vice versa. It's probable, maybe possible, that some sort of combination was able to happen. Especially, who knows?
Maybe human pig, something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, folks.
Yep, we're going to leave on that weird note. We'll be back next week. Do us a favor, follow us on Spotify. That'd help us out greatly. Till next time.